Hello again and welcome to another episode of I Want to Talk About This Album. And today I'm going to talk about Pete Townshend for the first time. I've talked about The Who a few times somewhat recently, and so I'm going to branch out a little bit and go to Pete Townshend. This is an album called All the Best Cowboys Have Chinese Eyes. Before I get to the record, I'll talk about that title briefly. I remember when I was a kid, this album came out in 1982, when I've got it here. That was a combination of clearing my throat and I think a hiccup at the same time. So there it is, All the Best Cowboys Have Chinese Eyes. Came out in 1982, and I remember, and I didn't, I think I have the hiccups. This could be bad. Should I start over? It is hiccups. Oh my God, this is the first in this series that I've had hiccups. Hopefully it's not too bad. So this came out in 1982, and I knew The Who. I wasn't a fan, but I did know them. I liked some of their songs. I had not bought any of their records at that point. I had maybe two singles. But I definitely did not and have not ever had any Pete Townshend solo records until I got this one fairly recently. But I do remember this because I thought when I was a kid, I guess I was 12 years old when this came out, I don't know if I thought it was cool or if I was perplexed or if I was fascinated by, why is this album called All the Best Cowboys Have Chinese Eyes? That I just remember that really, really sticking out with me. And seeing this in record stores, I thought this was a cool album cover. And I guess, as I said, I don't remember if I thought it was a cool album title, but it definitely stayed with me for many, many years. And I never heard a single note from this record. I realized, recently, I think today that I'd never heard a note of this. When I bought this, and I'll talk about how I, got this album. So I bought it and I was looking at it. I thought, okay, no, don't know this. There was one single song title that I recognized on All the Best Cowboys Have. Should I do it? I won't do that. So people don't like that. All the Best Cowboys Have Chinese Eyes. It's Pete Townshend. It's not me saying this. I hope you understand that. So I did. I thought, no, and I knew Empty Glass, which was his prior solo album. I knew Rough Boys, which I love, and My Love Opened the Door, which I love. That's like a top-notch, really, really high-level song for me. But I didn't know anything from this. So I thought, maybe there's something on it that when I hear it, it'll jar my memory. Okay, I know this song, but I didn't know it was, had this title or something. But no, I listened to it twice today, trying again, and didn't know any song, nothing at all. I guess this got no radio play. This was, I guess, before MTV, so no videos. So kind of a mystery album to me. Now, I came into this album by kind of great coincidence. When I was at El Chopo last, which was at the end of April, I was there on the Easter weekend. I bought 5 albums there. They're all, I think 4 of those 5 were from the same guy. And I bought, for the episodes I've done so far, Rainbow Rising, Beach Boys, Surfing USA. There's one I haven't talked about yet. What else did I buy? Two that I haven't talked about yet, and there was one other that I can't remember. And I did see All the Best Cowboys Have Chinese Eyes. As I was flipping through the records, I saw it and I thought, I'm going to ask how much this is, and if it's a good price, I'll buy it. Excuse me. And then I forgot about it, and I thought, oh man, I wanted to buy All the Best Cowboys Have Chinese Eyes, and I'll probably never see it again if I go back to El Chopo. I won't be able to find the guy or, something. So I thought, I lost my chance. I just wanted, and I've been in Who mode recently, so obviously, since I've never heard this album, it's not like I was dying to have it in my collection. I thought I should have a Pete Townshend record in my collection since I'm in big time Who mode. And about, I guess it was in my time, about 2 weeks ago, around mid-May, somewhere around there, I was downtown in my city, Cuernavaca. There are 3, as far as I know, 3 used record places downtown Cuernavaca. And they're all they're not just used records. They sell they sell books and old cameras and old stereos and anything old. All these places sell it. and their prices are in many cases ridiculous, and the records are in many cases also in quite bad condition. Nothing is priced. You have to ask the person how much it is, and then in all those places, they tell you, especially, man, they text somebody, they take a picture, and you sometimes have to wait 3, 4, 7, 8 minutes for the guy to tell the person working there, yeah, it's this much or whatever. So I went into this store, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and this was amazing. He's got there's a long, maybe a 2 meter long bin of used records from A to whatever, N, and on the other side, the rest. And this one, Pete Townshend, All the Best Cowboys Have Chinese Eyes, it was right in the front, and it wasn't in, and in Mexico they categorized them, so Pete Townshend's under P, not T. But he was in the front. It was in like the F section, right at the very front. I otherwise never would have seen it, but I did see. I thought, oh my God, I can't believe the kismet. I'm not sure if that's the word, but the coincidence that I had just seen this record at El Chopo 3 weeks prior, and thought I lost my chance to have it. Now I've seen it again at the store that's, probably doesn't have too much good stuff to, stuff that's appealing to me, and it's right there. It's like it was calling my name. So I bought it. It was, I can't remember if it was 100 or 150 pesos, but I thought, okay, that's fair. Now I also did try to buy 2 other ones. One was Rod Stewart, Blondes Have More Fun. The other one was, I can't remember what it was, but the guy wanted, and all he does, so I said, how much is this? And I give it to him, and he goes like this. He looks at it, he pulls it out, and it didn't have it wasn't a plastic sleeve at the time. It was just in the cardboard case. And he looked at it, he goes like this, and he says, yeah, 150 pesos. That's how the pricing works. And if you go there another day, because I've done this, the price will be different. Same guy, but they have no clue how much their records are. They just give you whatever price they feel like at the time. But 200 pesos for Rod Stewart, Blondes Have More Fun, and whatever the other one was, no way. But I thought, okay, 150 for this, so I'll get it. So that's how I got it. Now here's the record, and there's the back, and it is a gatefold. There's the gatefold. I don't know who any of these people are, except this is Pete Townshend here. I have no idea. There's this guy up at the top and this woman in the middle. Don't know who they are. And there's one single frame of Pete Townshend. There he is. All right. I know this because this is a Mexican, and I hate these plastic sleeves that they stick out like that. It's like having your underwear riding up, something like that. Because this is a Mexican pressing, it does have the song titles in Spanish, which I will read, and then I will get to the track by track. Well, first I'll talk about the album a little bit. I thought it was okay. There wasn't one song on this record that I thought, oh, that's a great song. I love this song. I got to hear it again. Most of the songs, they were okay. There's one song that I thought was awful. A little bit disappointing. I was maybe, expecting the Who. And by the way, about solo albums, I think they're kind of weird. There are a lot of solo albums that I've bought over the years, but in many cases, I'm not really interested in solo records. No matter, I think most of the bands I like them because I like the band. If you take any one of the musicians and they make a solo record, I'm largely not interested. Jerry Cantrell, I love Alice in Chains, and when he did his first solo album, Boggy Depot, or Boggy Depot, I bought it. I thought it was okay, and it sounded like Alice in Chains. It was more like an Alice in Chains album than a Jerry Cantrell album. And Eddie Vedder ukulele songs, and I don't know how many. But the thing about solo albums is, I think if it's like a side album or something you're doing outside of your current band, I think it should be different. What's the point in doing a solo record or a side project if it's going to be the same as what's in your, what you're doing in your main band? That's why I'm not. Everybody talks about this Lemmy solo album that he recorded like 20 or 25 years ago. I thought it's going to sound exactly like Motorhead, I think. I don't know if that'll ever see the day. But then if the band breaks up and then you continue to be solo, I think then it should be like the band. Stephen Pearcy, I've talked about Rat a lot recently, and Stephen Pearcy's solo albums I've never bought any of them, but I do know some songs in there. They sound pretty much like Rat albums. So this, All the Best Cowboys Have Chinese Eyes, parts of it sound like The Who, which is to be expected because really, I mean, The Who, all the Who albums are really Pete Townsend solo albums, just with the same band backing. It's Roger Daltrey and John Entwistle and Keith Moon backing Pete Townsend on all the records, because he wrote 98% of the songs. You know, John Entwistle had a song that he wrote on each album, but Roger Daltrey never really wrote anything. Keith Moon didn't. So you could say that the Who albums are almost like Pete Townsend solo albums. But I will get to, let me read these song titles in Spanish. The first song is Stop Hurting People, which is Dejen de lastimar a la gente. The Sea Refuses No River is El Mar No Rechaza al Rio. Prelude is Preludio. Face Dances Part 2 is Danzas Faciales Segunda Parte. Exquisitely Bored is Exquisitamente Aburrido. Communication is Comunicar. And Lado Dos, side 2, is Stardom in Action, Estrella en Acción. Estrella is just star. So I guess maybe there's no word in Spanish for stardom. It's just star. Estrella en Acción. Uniforms is Uniformes. North Country Girl, Chica del Norte. Somebody Save Me as Alguien Me Salvó. Slit Skirts is Faldas Rasgadas. I've never heard of rasgadas. Rasgadas. All right. So there it is. And because heard it for the first time today, I had to write notes, which I will get to right now. So as I mentioned, the first song is Stop Hurting People. I thought this song sucked. Didn't like it at all. Bad way for me to start the album. It's very synthesizer heavy. I think so. This album came out just before, or the same year anyway, before It's Hard, which was the last Who album until, in 1982, the last Who album until 2006. And I guess this Stop Hurting People, this song was kind of an indication of what It's Hard was going to be. Kind of that style, that early 80s, almost new wave synthesizer sounds. Didn't like Stop Hurting People. Didn't like that song. Actually, I really didn't like it. And it's also mostly spoken word. And to me, I don't know if it's, and there's no credits on here. I don't know if this is Pete Townsend. I would imagine it is, but there's no credits about if it's somebody else singing or doing the spoken word on Stop Hurting People other than Pete Townsend. I don't know who it is. Maybe it is Pete, and he just sounds different. Next is The Sea Refuses No River. I love that song title. It's a great song title. Very Pete Townsend-esque song title. Much better. I like this much better than Stop Hurting People. Much more guitar driven, less synthesizer than Stop Hurting People. More Who-ish. I'll talk about that, I think, with a few other songs. It's got some harmonica in it at the beginning, in the intro, and throughout. The Sea Refuses No River is a good song. Next is Prelude. To what, I'm not sure. Typically a prelude, would lead into something. And there is a song that follows Prelude, but it has nothing to do with the song Prelude. So I don't know what is the prelude here, or what succeeds Prelude. But I like the song a lot, but it was 1:32. It's very nice. It's piano driven. It sounds like it could have been a great song if it had been fleshed out and been a full, 3 or 4 minute song. But I really liked Prelude. It's just too short. It is filler. Filler can be good, I think. Next is Face Dances Part 2. And I don't know where Part 1 is, because I know Face Dances, which was the previous album to All the Best Cowboys, the previous Who album, in 1981, prior to All the Best Cowboys Have Chinese Eyes. I'm pretty familiar with that album, and I'm almost positive there's no song called Face Dances. There's Don't Let Go of the Coat and Cash Cash and You Better You Bet. And is Eminence Front? That's on Face Dances. And maybe I'll talk about Face Dances at some point. But so it's called Face Dances Part 2. I don't know if this was retitled from something else, or if it was a song from Face Dances and it got left off. I don't know if it was a B-side. I don't know if Pete wrote it after Face Dances. No idea. It's a mystery song title to me, and it was okay. Next is Exquisitely Bored. Another, I like this song title. This is another one. The verses are almost like spoken word, similar to Stop Hurting People, and also doesn't really sound like Pete Townshend, although there are a few points where you can go, oh yeah, it's Pete Townshend. But I did like Exquisitely Bored. Good song. Next is Communication. I noted a lyric here. The lyric was face dancing, locked lipped between thy, I don't know if it's thy secret or thigh, the body part, thigh secret or thy secret. To me, this is the song that could be maybe the most easily could be a Who song. Particularly, I can imagine Roger Daltrey singing this song, because there are Pete Townshend Who songs and Roger Daltrey Who songs. To me, this sounded like I could imagine Roger Daltrey singing it. It's more upbeat, energetic. I liked Communication. Next is Stardom in Action. This is, to me, was more like a Pete Townshend Who song. This sounds like how Pete Townshend sounds when he sings Who songs, and I liked it. Next is Uniforms. This is, to me, this was kind of a bouncy song. It sounded like an Irish jig, which I think is the thing, an Irish jig, but it sounded like one of these, kind of a happy, kind of bouncy Irish jigs. I don't even know what an Irish jig is, but maybe I'm inventing or creating a new genre of music. It was very a happy, bright song with synthesizers. It was okay. Next is, North Country Girl. Traditional, which I guess the only song that I know it's like traditional, where it's like maybe it's public domain, is Whiskey in the Jar. So I guess Pete Townshend didn't write this. It's just one of these songs that's traditional, like Whiskey in the Jar. Pretty good. Next is Somebody Saved Me. Also pretty good, and I thought this one also sounded like Pete Townshend singing a Who song. And some of my favorite Who songs are Pete Townshend songs. And then the last song is Slit Skirts. And not much to say about that. I thought it was okay. So that's all. So yeah, I'm glad that I have it. It was a good price, but I feel like this is not one that I'm going to really get into. I think I've realized what is the better album, at least for me, based on the two songs that I know. As I mentioned earlier, Empty Glass, which had Rough Boys and My Love Opened the Door. And Jules and Jim, there's a great song on there also called Jules and Jim. I feel like that's a much better album. But this one really caught my attention because of the cool cover and the cool album title. And that's all for Pete Townshend and the maybe provocatively titled, All the Best Cowboys Have Chinese Eyes.